That's not. I don't do drugs. But people do drugs. I don't do drugs of any kind.
Now baby, if you thought Tamar's messy little feud was gonna stay stuck in harmless Instagram shade, think again, cause sis clapped back with one brutal insult that shook the room. She labeled Funky Dineva a crackhead. Yep, she didn't just hit block. She didn't just drag him for being messy. Tamar went straight for the jugular. The rumors that been haunting this man for years, she blasted loud and clear. See, Funky's whole brand has always thrived on pure chaos, his wild lives, his unhinged YouTube rants, his late-night club antics. Baby, it's never without that did he pop something before hitting live vibe. And Tamar? She snatched those whispers and set them off like dynamite. On her very first IG live since the tooth-losing fiasco, she straight up declared, Funky stays lit on something, and allegedly she's holding receipts, videos of him sky-high, wild as ever. Clips she teased could drop any minute now that their so-called friendship is 6 feet under. That ain't petty shade, baby, that's straight-up character homicide. And let's not kid ourselves, these whispers didn't just appear from nowhere. Funky himself has confessed on. From cameras to edibles, to booze, to living that non-stop turn-up life, Funky has never exactly hidden it. Remember that infamous night he went live ranting about cabbage and smothered pork chops, swearing, I'm not high, but I am on an edible? Yeah, the fans clocked every second. He brushed it off with a laugh, but Tamar is now flipping those same receipts as her smoking gun. Proof this mess goes way past casual weed. Brownies. This man is spiraling fast. And best believe Tamar's timing ain't some coincidence. Funky blasted her, claiming she staged that whole medical scare, the blood, the missing teeth, the dramatic I almost died IG stunt, just to hype her EP. He painted her like a fraud and an opportunist. But Tamar? She flipped the script, firing back, nah, you're the fraud. And while you're busy calling me fake, let's unpack your little powder problem. Phew, chilly. Here's the gag, Tamar ain't just tossing insults for laughs. She's building her own defense case. By branding Funky as an unreliable, clout-chasing blogger with a habit, she's slicing up his credibility before he even gets a chance to clap back. And in the court of public opinion, if folks buy that he's sloppy and unstable, then his whole Tamar staged it story collapses. Translation? She's running crisis control with full-blown nuclear shade. And the irony, Funky was the one who built a career off airing out everybody else's dirt, their addictions, their scandals, their rock-bottom moments. He cashed in on folks' lowest lows. But now the tables flipped, and Tamar is roasting him with the same brutal playbook he's used for years. If it walks like a junkie and talks like a junkie, maybe it is one. It's ruthless, it's savage, but let's be real, it's textbook celebrity gossip war. Tamar ain't playing fair, and honestly, why would she? When somebody accuses you of faking a medical scare, you swing straight for the jugular. And for Funky, that's the long-whispered demons he always brushed off as jokes. The streets are watching, the hive might shrug, but the Tamartians? Oh, they're feasting on every second. And Funky's die-hard crew is screaming it's all cap. But one thing's undeniable, Tamar just ripped the mask clean off. And truth or not, that crackhead stamp is one nasty stain Funky might never wash away.
And please don't, I blocked you, I don't engage, I'm not gonna say your name, just don't talk about me. I don't want anything else to do with you. You're not my friend, okay, you don't like me.
Now baby, Tamar didn't just park the drama on IG shade. Oh no, sis pulled the one card Funky never saw coming. She allegedly hit up her lawyers on speed dial and started whispering about a lawsuit. Yep, you heard it right. Tamar Braxton, R&B royalty and chaos queen, decided Funky wasn't just messy, he was liable. And let's be real, this was the natural next step, cause Funky didn't just drag Tamar's music. He straight up accused her of faking a medical emergency, using her own health scare as nothing more than a rollout gimmick for her EP. That ain't just hot tea, chili, that's defamation land for Tamar. The way Funky's version of the tale painted her as a liar, a schemer, and a woman clawing for clicks. And if you know Tamar, you know her whole world spins on reputation. So when Funky doubled down on YouTube, bragging he'd meet her wherever and cash in on the chaos, oh, sis didn't just hear shade. She heard straight-up dollar signs in court. The narrative started snowballing quick. Tamar's fans were chanting, yes, sue his messy self. Make him cough up coins for that big mouth. They're itching to see her drag Funky into court the same way Cardi B dragged Tasha K. Remember that? Cardi strutted out with a multi-million-dollar win after Tasha K spewed lies about her. And now Tamar wants to remix that same script, snatch up a loudmouth blogger and prove the law actually has limits. But Funky ain't stupid. The second Tamar started tossing court threats, he jumped right back on his platform to flip the script. He told his subscribers, "I don't know what happened to that lady. I swear on my mama's life, I got no reason to lie." He claimed he simply passed Tamar Dr. Heavenly's number and went on with his night, period. Funky spun it like he was the real victim of Tamar's scheming, saying she let the world believe he hurt her, then turned around and blasted him the second he dared defend himself. To him, the lawsuit is nothing more than Tamar trying to muzzle him cause she can't stomach the truth. And don't forget Funky's YouTube fam. They ride for him hard, messy but real. To them, Tamar's legal threats scream intimidation, like she's trying to pull a Cardi B move to shut him up. They argue Funky doesn't lie, he just overshares. And if Tamar got burned in the crossfire, well, that's her problem. The fans are lapping it up like it's love and hip-hop, bloggers edition. But here's the real gag, both of them are winning. Tamar soaks up sympathy from her squad and comes off looking like she's finally standing her ground. Funky milks endless content, replaying every Tamar live on YouTube with his messy commentary. It's lawsuit for live, shade for video, tit for tat. And chilly, this merry-go-round ain't stopping anytime soon. But one thing's crystal clear, Tamar knows a lawsuit can flip the whole table. Just ask Tasha K and best believe Funky knows. Once folks tag you a crackhead with lawsuits dangling over your head, every word out your mouth starts sounding suspect. That's why this public feud ain't just messy shade, it's straight up survival mode.
Funky's been very open about the use that he's had in the past and things like that, so that's not news to anyone. But when you put something out there like that, makes it seem as if is he currently using, besides, edibles and things like that. Again, two people that are very drama fueled coming together in a friendship. I'm not.
Now child, if you thought this was only IG shade and lawsuit talk, grab your wigs tight, cause Tamar wasn't done with words. She came swinging with receipts, allegedly. And not the cute kind either. We're talking full-blown videos. Yep, Tamar Braxton out here teasing clips that allegedly catch Funky Dineva at his lowest, vulnerable, and high as a kite. Sloppy and, in her words, a crackhead. Phew. See, Tamar knows the real weapon is visuals. Words get twisted, IG captions vanish, but video? That lives forever. And the streets are buzzing that she's holding footage nasty enough to humiliate Funky beyond repair. According to her, this ain't your average gossip blog. Exaggeration. She claims Funky's been dabbling in those substances for years, and she's got proof. If those clips are real, it flips the whole game, cause suddenly Funky ain't just a messy blogger, he's an unreliable source. And once the streets slap you with the addict label, your credibility is fried. But here's the catch, Funky ain't new to this. People been buzzing about Funky's substance use for years, and he's never ducked it. He'll cop to edibles, heavy drinking, even reckless nights, but he always flips it, turning confession into content. Yeah, I was high and I still said what I said. That's Funky's whole shtick. So Tamar flashing receipts could backfire. Instead of dragging him, it might make him look raw, relatable, maybe even messy sells, but messy with receipts? Baby, that's a cash machine. And let's not pretend Funky's innocent in the receipts Olympics. Before Tamar even dropped her threat, he'd already teased the idea of exposing her. Remember on his YouTube rant when he signed off bragging he could bury her with the dirt he knows, but chose to hold back? That was pure power play, flexing control. Translation: don't test me, sis. I got ammo too. Now it's full-on standoff mode. Tamar allegedly sitting on videos. Funky allegedly clutching secrets about that bloody night incident, and maybe more skeletons in her closet. And the blogs? Phew, they're perched like it's Mayweather versus Pacquiao, waiting to see who's gonna fire the first real nuke. The fans are divided down the middle. Tamar's crew is chanting, drop the tapes. Prove Funky's nothing but a crackhead clout chaser. Meanwhile, Funky's squad fires back, sis you just pressed cause he spoke the truth. To them, Funky's been steady and consistent, while Tamar, she's the one who stays drowning in mess. And then, you got the neutral trolls hollering, drop everything. We want chaos, not class. But zoom out for a second, this receipts war cuts both ways. Tamar's crown as music royalty could look tarnished if she starts leaking clips. Folks will say she's punching down. And Funky? If those videos surface, even if he shrugs it off, brand deals, collabs, and his whole credibility could nosedive. Here's the gag. Neither one probably wants to press that nuclear button, but the threat alone keeps this feud sizzling. Every IG live, every YouTube rant, every shady tweet, pure foreplay for the bombshell waiting to drop. And chilly, in the gossip game, sometimes the promise of receipts is messier than the receipts themselves. Cause once those clips hit the net, There's no shoving that toothpaste back in the tube. And Tamar branding him a crackhead out loud? That was her warning shot. Now the only question left, will Funky fire back with ammo of his own?
These people accuse me of doing some of the most heinous things I've ever been accused of on the planet, and the only thing you got to say to me in this moment is, please don't ruin this.
Now, let's keep it real for a second. When the tea's this scorching, you gotta sip slow. Everybody wants to holler Funky's a liar, or Tamar's just messy. But truth is, both of them got fingerprints all over this chaos. Let's break it down, starting with Tamar. Baby girl is undeniably talented, the voice, the catalog, the legendary Braxton name. She doesn't need cheap gimmicks. And yet here we are. Instead of headlines about new music, we're drowning in bloody night stories. IG lives with half-done makeup and cryptic drags at Funky Dineva. The devil's advocate question writes itself. Why is Tamar even rolling around in blogger beef? She's supposed to be R&B royalty, Grammy-nominated, powerhouse vocals, Tony's baby sister, and yet she's in the mud sparring with Funky like they're on the same tier. And that's the part making folks side-eye. It looks like she's fueling the chaos instead of cutting it off. Plus, let's not forget, it was Tamar who first went public claiming she almost died. That lit the internet on fire. When you drop news that heavy, you can't act blindsided when folks demand answers. Funky didn't create the doubt. He just blasted it through a mic. From that angle, Tamar invited some of this storm herself. But flip it. Now let's get into Funky Dineva. Phew, child. Messy might be his brand, but even messy has a ceiling. If somebody you claim as a friend says they're laid up in a hospital, bleeding and missing teeth, your first instinct shouldn't be sprinting to YouTube with alibis and shade. Your first instinct should have been, pray for my sis, I'll update y'all soon. But nah, Funky jumped straight into defense mode, calling her the lady, dropping timelines, and hinting it was all a PR stunt. That move made him look guilty, even if he wasn't. Like, bruh, why so desperate to clear your name if you did nothing? Sometimes silence screams louder than a rant. And let's be real, the allegations stick easy cause of Funky's own lifestyle. He brags about heavy drinking, popping, edibles, and wild nights. That raw honesty is part of his appeal, but it also arms his enemies. So when Tamar labeled him a crackhead, it hit hard, cause folks already buy into the idea he's reckless with substances. Fair or not, his image makes the jab stick. And here's the gag, both camps got receipts, both got dirt, and both got egos too swollen to bow out. Tamar leans on the victim card a little too often, while Funky leans into messy blogger a little too well. That's the devil's advocate truth. They're both wrong, just in different flavors. Tamar's wrong for milking tragedy and mystery to grab attention, then unleashing her fans on Funky when it blew up in her face. Funky's wrong for dragging a supposed friend instead of holding her down while she recovered. At the end of the day, the only ones really winning are folks like me, cause this feud keeps the lights on. Let's keep it a buck. This messy ping-pong between Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva ain't just gossip blog candy. It's slow-motion brand suicide. Both of them should be operating way above this mess. Tamar's a Grammy-nominated powerhouse, with one of the best voices of her generation. Funky Dineva carved out a lane as one of the loudest, most recognizable voices in black gossip media. But when two public figures let their beef explode this sloppy, everybody's credibility takes a hit. And don't forget, they were supposed to be friends. That's why this feud cuts deeper. Tamar torching Funky on IG, Funky firing right back on YouTube. It's not just petty, it's disloyal. Audiences can't stand watching friendships combust in public, cause it makes both sides look shady. If Tamar will air out Funky, will she blast her sisters again? If Funky flips on Tamar, who's next on his list? And trust, the industry clocks that. Brands, networks, sponsors, they don't gamble on unstable names tied to their checks. The real tragedy? Both of them had the chance to spin this chaos into something greater. Tamar could have leaned into her music, flipped that almost died story into a testimony of survival, and reminded the world she's more than messy headlines. Funky could have used his platform to stand by a friend, then dropped his side with receipts after the storm passed. Instead, they both picked chaos, and chaos might roar the loudest, but it fizzles the quickest. So the real question is, what's the legacy left behind? If Tamar doesn't polish her image, she's in danger of being remembered more for meltdowns than music. And if Funky can't draw a line between messy entertainer and reckless persona, he risks throwing away the very credibility that makes his reads hit in the first place.